I guess not. That was an anticlimactic start. Why isn't that not going though? All right, let's just skip the intro. We wait, it's a video. It should be playing. What happened? Where's my other intro? This is what happens when you take a week off.
Oh, done a pot.
I did. That does not. I guess my video
I,
doesn't play anymore. There and
I
okay.
cannot work with this amateurness.
All right, everyone. That was a rough start, but it's good for us. Wait. Oh yeah, I'm seeing black screen because I'm watching the replay. Okay, my volume is down on that. Today, of course, we got the Forge of Mars here today, and I'll be working on some paint overs, and we also are joined by Mechanical Frog. So, so we have a little extra variety, and of course, as planned as it was, I made a tweet about going live, and he said he was going to watch and paint. So I said, well, why don't you come on the stream? And he said, sure. So that was the extent of our planning. We got Lee having a bud. I've been so caught up in everything. I don't even realize like Christmas is almost here, which is kind
Yeah,
of, yeah, yeah, you said that. You're like, hey, last show before Christmas. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know when that is. So, like, probably got to be a couple days away.
3 days, dude. 3 days.
Oh, I am unprepared. I did get people gifts like before, so I knew better. So at least I did that. And then, did Mechanical Frog disappear?
No, I'm here.
Right. He was just putting the word out.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
good.
advertising.
See, I never do that. I should have it on my Instagram and stuff I'll get better at this year. This year is honing the game plan. And you've been doing quite a few videos yourself there, Frog. What do you actually have on the paint table right now?
I've got a variety of different things. I've got the assault intercessors that I'm working on. I finished the first one completely, and then the other 9 are in process.
Okay.
So that's a thing that's happening. Little piece of terrain that was just 3D printed for fun a while back, and finally
Oh
getting around
gosh,
to.
see, yeah, 3D printed terrain
Painting.
is where I want to be.
And then the bases for these Beastmen from the December release of from One Page Rules.
Okay.
They are looking pretty good.
Man, I consistently hear a lot of positive things about One Page Rules.
The
So,
detail's amazing.
okay,
He does some
interesting.
great work.
And you,
And
okay,
he's actually working to actually build kind of like this game universe. So they've got their own game set rules and
yeah.
everything. Pretty awesome. And then
Now, what is
last
your
little bit is some tanks for BattleTech.
Oh, they do. Oh, yeah, they have the tank 3D printed or bought.
3D printed.
Okay. Oh God, I'd be so addicted to that stuff. One more thing. What is your Twitter handle in case anyone's watching and wants to know?
MechFrog12.
Okay. And then
And then
Lee,
just Mechanical
what?
Frog.
Okay, I missed out on this. Lee, what is up with your TARDIS? Did you have? Is that yours? What's the deal? What's going on? Was like, I gotta talk to him. I'm not gonna ask him. I was like, I'll say it till Wednesday. I'm like, part of me doesn't like. Part of me thinks I misunderstood, and it's not because it looks so cool and it's so whatever that I didn't know if you're like just posting some JPEG or a meme or whatever. So I just gotta ask and clear it up.
Right. So basically, that TARDIS used to be my stepson's wardrobe when he was a little boy.
Okay, okay.
Now, obviously, he's grown up. He was actually using it as his paint station to keep all his stuff out of the way.
Oh.
That's why I was painting on the kitchen table for the last couple of years. But my partner's had enough of me painting on the kitchen table, and he's at university, and so it hands me up, and I was organising it because Callum wasn't that organised with his stuff, and I'm a bit OCD in that respect, and I was trying to get it tidy and neat. And it's the first little paint domain I've ever had, really.
Oh
So
gosh, and it's so cool. I saw that and like I literally, I was like, does he really have that? Because I'm like, that's just so awesome, dude. I'm like, what a cool, like you open it up and all your stuff was there and it's like fits the theme and everything. That was awesome.
yeah, no, it is pretty cool. It's got like a built-in light on the inside, but it's got some plugs there, so I can plug in for like spot lamps and airbrushes if need be. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like the one-stop shop, really. Needs a little bit more work and organization to make it more its optimal
Yes, you gotta
configuration.
optimize it.
Yeah.
That's a fun, like that's a fun little. Oh, are you serious? I did not charge my pencil. God, this is what happens.
This is going to be a very strange free paint over Wednesday if you can't.
Yeah, with no charged pencil, like the little tedious little things. It's like it props to all these people streaming and like Frog. Did you got to stream last Saturday, didn't you, Lee?
Yeah, yeah. I streamed a little while because I was about only 2.5 hours or so because
Only.
I hadn't slept that well that morning and it'd been a very
Yeah.
long day. So yeah, I've done a couple of hours. Had like some of the usuals like mouse bait,
Yeah.
Icon 74, Toffee Troll turned up as normal,
Oh, good.
amongst others. Um, But yeah, it was it was a nice, usual Saturday laid back. I can't even remember what I was there. Yeah, sorry, Emperor's Children. I was painting Palatine Blades.
Wait, what's
And
a Palatine Blade? And by the way,
they're
hi Echo. Glad you could make
hello
it.
Echo.
Cool.
Palatine Blades are an elite sort of cadre of swordsmen for the Emperor's Children Legion in the Horus Heresy.
Oh, okay.
Before the heresy kicked off, you basically had the Palatine Blades, which was like the best fighters would basically be sort of like invited into the Brotherhood, and
Yeah.
they sort of operated independently as such. You had to request their aid and stuff like that
Yeah.
to sort of come and join them in battle, petition them basically. And then above them, you had the Phoenix Guard, which were like the personal retinue for the Fulgrim.
Oh, okay.
But the Palatine Blades were like a huge sort of force of
Yeah.
really top end hand to hand fighters, basically warriors. So yes, so I love them. So I have a lot of them. And
Yeah, you have a lot of miniatures in general.
yeah, I don't do small armies.
No, you really don't.
I go big. I always go big because I'm not going home. So yeah, so I had these guys. I bought them years ago, and where I've been distracted so much in the last few years with Titans,
Hmm.
I've been getting that itch for heresy.
Yeah. Oh, I understand that because I haven't been playing, but those are my favorite looking they're like extra ornate with almost like that throwback type of stuff. You know what I mean? And I just that's I guess where my like, I always go back to that. It's kind of my personal aesthetic for what I enjoy the most, I think.
Hmm. So yeah, to say like they've got so much character within the legions throughout
Hmm.
the they've all got their own little like unique formations and their aesthetics as well. I would say that obviously the Emperor's Children were one of the earlier legions to get their sort of special troops released,
Yeah.
and they've held up. I think they were probably the first of the nicest looking guys. Obviously, they've been like
Yeah.
maybe superseded by some of the later armies models, like maybe the Dark Angels,
Yeah.
for sure. They were like really nice looking models for them. Space Wolves had some really nice forces, but they were like the first one that sort of really stood out, and you could really see
Yeah.
as that legion.
They
That
did
had all.
they did such a great job with that. Like you said before, it's like special retinues, like they divide it all up so much just within the legions to like you have tons of flavor just within that. You know what I mean? And then you got legion upon legion, and I especially like I'll get caught up just going to Forge World to look at stuff. You know what I mean? It's just so beautiful.
When you finally make your pilgrimage to the Mecca that is Warhammer
Yes,
World,
I'm going to.
you're not coming out the Forge World store.
No, oh yeah, I know. That's I have to make because I want to stare at everything for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because they
So,
have lots of stuff all built but not painted.
mm-hmm.
See them
Oh, so you get to see them like in their natural
readily
beauty.
goodness.
Frog, have you ever been over to the UK?
I did right after college, but that was before I got into Warhammer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have definitely made the trip.
I was only there once. I didn't get to Warhammer World, but I did. I had to stop, and it was the funniest story. I went over there. I don't even know what year, 2006, 5, somewhere in there. And I stopped at, I was like, I got to go to one Games Workshop. So I stopped in one, and that's when, oh, wait. Hey, King Crimson, thanks for stopping in. Oh, and Ryan Taylor, nice. Or glad you could join us. Appreciate it.
Crimson!
Yeah. And when I stopped over there, I went in, and that's where I got those couple trading cards, in the game. And I just happened to look at one of the books. Those at the time they were like Visions of the Horus Heresy or whatever. They're kind of like a big book. And I was flipping through one, and sure enough, I had my stuff in there. So and I didn't even know it, and it was kind of like whatever poetic. I go over there and then find out one of them's in the Black Library book. So I was like, oh, cool. So that was my little Warhammer UK experience.
I've got the Visions of Heresy up indoors, so I'll have to look through
Oh,
that.
do you? Yeah, yeah. I got one in there for. It's like a. What was funny about that is when I got that to do that artwork, I drew the pencil artwork on a piece of paper that had a Space Wolves army list. That was one of my favorite things was making army lists. I would sit there and recalculate like adjust all these settings just because like I couldn't have one odd point. I'm like, oh dude, I'm not gonna be missing one. Like I'd see some people be like, it's a 2,000 point army. Here's my 1,999 point list. I was like, you sinner. I'm like, you get that point in there. Like that's power on the table. You like, and so I would just spend literally like days tweaking. I'm like, okay, if I go with this guy and I can do this, and then if I change this, and it's like this whole pattern. And it's funny because on the back of that original pencil artwork is like these army list scribbles.
In the Game of Thrones, you either
Yeah.
live or you die. In the Game of Warhammer, 1 point means defeat.
Yep, dude, you gotta get that on the table. Toffee Troll asked Lee, did you get the Christmas haircut? Oh, and Kate, oh, Ghost, let you answer that.
Did I get it? I did it.
Yeah. He's got even a little
Former
Christmas
hairdresser.
sweater on. See, Lee
I got
has
my
some
Christmas
fashion
sweater on.
sense. Yeah. I
The
wanted to show
official
these.
Games Workshop Christmas sweater.
Oh, I
The
didn't even
first one
know
they
that was a
brought out.
Games Workshop one. How cool. This is perfect for the show.
Well, I came prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously
For all we
Patreon
know,
wasn't.
Scott, you're sitting there in your Christmas Speedos.
No, I'm all glad it's winter because I can actually wear like long clothes and not sweat to death. So I'm still in the point where I'm like okay with it being winter. In a couple months I'll be over it.
I'm so over it.
I'll be over it.
Well,
It's
talk about
sunny today. The gray days get me more than the cold.
I picked up some Blood Bowl Black Orcs
Oh yeah.
because a friend of mine on Twitter who goes by the name of a warm, awful feeling. Is she's called Ivy in real life, but it's a warm, awful feeling is her tag. But she's been doing some Blood Bowl Orcs recently.
Oh yeah.
I thought, I've I've not really given Blood Bowl a lot, and I know a lot of people that do play it. And,
Yeah, I still have it on my iPad. It's one of the it's one of the very few games that make it on there.
So I thought I've an idea, just inspiration struck after seeing her excellently painted orcs that she done, because you name them like your teams and stuff like that. And I've named my ones after my favorite American football team, the 49ers.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to call them. I've got to try and remember the first part. The Slam Bam Fisto Orky Niners or Orky Wines.
Yeah.
So I thought it just worked. It worked for me, and I'm going to put them gold and red or crimson.
Yeah.
I'll call it crimson. It'll be red, but I'll call it crimson in tribute to my crimson friend who's disappeared. Even though he's a Patriots fan.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But yeah, the Orky Winers.
Did you get into San Fran back in back in the Joe Montana days? Like how did you? Okay, I was gonna say that must have been like
basically the first Super Bowl I ever watched was Super Bowl 20, where it was the Chicago Bears versus the New England Patriots.
Oh, okay.
And they won 48-10. You had
Oh.
William the Refrigerator Perry in the offensive line.
Yeah.
For the Bears with Walter Payton as running back and Jim McMahon.
Yeah.
I followed the Bears because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, right, okay, I don't know much about this game teams. Like I knew a little bit through like seeing things on TV and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I looked into it, and I've got a fit. I always want to go to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And my favorite rock band comes from San Francisco, Faith No More.
I didn't know you were a Faith No More. Yeah.
And
okay.
it was lots of little things, and I thought, yeah, well, they've got a team, the 49ers. Yeah, I'll support them. They'll be my team. And it was just perfect timing, because I think about a year later, that's when Joe Montana started his
getting heating up. Yeah.
So yeah, it was so that just cemented it. Having Joe Cool there with Roger Craig.
I love Ronnie Lott.
Jerry Rice.
Ronnie Lott is probably one of my all-time favorite football players for sure. Probably.
I used to have his jersey. I lost it, but the latest jerseys I've got for 49ers was Frank Gore.
Okay.
Running back, and Bowman. It was I think he was offensive lineman. So I want to get a George Kittle one, because I absolutely love George Kittle.
Ryan Taylor says the best part of Blood Bowl is the names. You get to name them all.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've already thought of like naming my quarterback is going to be which is Jimmy G, isn't it? So he's Garoppolo.
Oh yeah.
But I was going to call it Gork-Roppolo, because you always tie in the orkiness to it, and then it was going to be Jorg Skittle, because of. But I've got to go through the roster and find names that I like that sound orky.
Some of the miniatures I seen, like for the last, I don't know, over a year, it's probably specialist games in general from GW, but in particular, it seemed the Blood Bowl ones, they had like great action and models and everything for there. Because I see them a lot, and I'm always like, oh, I want to convert these to, like, every time I see a Blood Bowl one, I always see Necromunda models. Like as soon as I see Blood Bowl, I'm like, oh, that would make an awesome thing. And poor Ryan Taylor's a Lions fan. Well, yeah, I know your pain. Let's just say I used to have hopes that the Lions. I used to have hopes that the Lions would win before I died, but it's like I was like, oh, they'll probably win one before I die, and now that's a debatable.
Maybe you should set a more realistic goal.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm like, damn it, man. And it was. I'm like a fair weather sports fan, but football and it's like your home team or whatever. So that was like my one team. I always like, come on, guys, dudes like when
Oh, do it.
hockey was popular here with like the Russian Five and everything. That was great to watch, and I loved it. But I was like, it wasn't my main. And the Lions have been like losers for so long. It's like, come on, boys, like just get it together for 1 year, fluke out, do something.
My ice hockey team is the Boston Bruins. So that would cheer Crimson up because I was like playing NHL on like the PlayStation or something like that, or actually no, it might have been a Nintendo. It was no Sony Mega Drive. Sorry, it was playing NHL on that, and Boston Bruins. I just love the idea of the Boston Bruins. I just like the symbol. I like the colours, and I thought, yeah, that's my team. That's how I chose the Boston Bruins, just purely on that nature. It was just, they look cool.
The Broncos, I always like, I like Broncos. I always think of, and it's probably one of my favorite plays of all time. I wasn't the hugest Elway fan, but I dug him. Like I was like, okay, great quarterback, everything. But when he had that play in the Super Bowl where he dove and got hit and spun around and still scored, like that dude, because he had so much kind of like not hype, but he had fought for so long and everything to get there, and you could just tell he was like, I am gonna like do anything it takes to win this game, and I was happy he won it, because the other ones, like when I watched, like, oh god, the Buffalo Bills where they went 3 times and lost, I'm like, oh god, or 4 times or whatever they did, gosh, that's horrible.
But it was like the Cincinnati Bengals as well. They like
Yeah.
during the 80s and 90s, because obviously 49ers beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, like twice.
And I think that was the one where Cincinnati running back Tim Crumry was running through, and then his leg just disintegrated underneath him.
Oh,
It broke as he was running.
yeah.
And it just like you see it just go flop 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 flop, and I was like,
yeah. That's why I like paintovers. Odds are pretty low I break anything.
Exactly. But yeah, no,
well, not zero, right? You always have a low chance of breaking your leg while doing paintover, but it's never zero.
It's very true.
But that's something like Broncos were like the main sort of team for a while back in the sort of like late 90s, in particular, like when John Elway he was there and doing quite well. But I love the fact that what's his name, Tom Brady, with the Patriots, and they went on their great big win and all that winning streak for championships. I love the fact that he was a 49ers fan, and he used to sit there in the stadium in Candlestick watching Joe Montana, and he was his idol. And you just think, well, it sounds like it's been passed down.
Yeah.
That winning mentality.
Yeah, that's just crazy what he accomplished. In the if you are working on anything in the comments, let me know what you are working on. Kind of curious. We got quite a few viewers. Thanks for joining us. I gotta do a shout out for if you're looking for some bases. Mine, I think they just arrived at my PO box. And oh wait, how do I do this? Oh, this is going to be a while to get back. Let me check it out. So Elric's Hobbies. So they have a bunch of stuff, bases like that. I don't think I ordered the gears. I wanted to get a bunch of gears. In my mind, I'm always captivated by like scenery. So even though I'm not putting together, like that's what'll get me. So like scenery stuff will almost draw me in more now than anything else. And that's the other thing I ordered. Um so yeah, if you want to check them out at elrixhobbies.com. They're all over the place, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And now I got to remember how to get back here. 1, a 2, a 3. Yeah.
Woo!
Pro.
Now, I'll tell you, when you do your adverts, you need a little bit of like music playing.
I know. I need music
and it reminds me of when I used to go to the cinema in the 80s. They always used to have like these little adverts for local businesses, and they had this really cheesy sort of like
yeah
playing over.
That's what, and I see like everyone else has this music. I'm like, however many streams in, I still don't have any nice background music, and I like it. I listen to them like, okay, cool. It's like just a nice mellow. You have a little like whatever beat to it or something melody, and you can just zone out.
Mm. I just noticed that Ryan was just saying in the chat he's starting to build his LVO. He's going to the Las Vegas Open army for his
Oh,
ideals. So that's the thing.
oh,
You go to these
well,
sort of big events, like Adepticon, the LVO, just going down there, just say you've played in one.
mm-hmm.
doesn't
Oh
doesn't matter if
yeah.
you know you lose all your matches or you do well or you win. You participated in one. And
And
that's
it,
just
to see all the stuff, like I don't know how many years ago, but I was to an Adepticon once, and it was phenomenal to like look at all, they got the boards there and you can see the miniatures and like move your eyes around them. It's like, and it was just amazing with that stuff. Frog, have you ever been to any of those type of events or anything?
No. No.
Right on. Do you ever do like any of the Gen Cons or anything back in the day?
We used to go to Comic-Con
Oh, you
pretty
did.
consistently,
Okay.
but that dropped off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I haven't
COVID
gone
kind of
to
killed it.
anything in a long time, so I'm like, I'm like overdue, and I'm like, all right, I'll, hit one of those. So March, I think it's gonna have Adepticon here, and since I'm not too far away, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably go. I gotta go hit it, and I'll probably see some people I quote unquote know by now. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna say hi to people and whatever. Be
well,
fun.
yeah. Obviously, when you go to one of these events, you'll be carried in on a palanquin and
I
waving
wanted,
to the assembled crowds.
I gotta. And I don't think I'll be able to do it this year because I was literally going to get a booth at one just cause, but, like whatever. Because I'd love to do some paint overs there, but I'm like, all right, I'll bring my iPad, and I'm sure they got like little side rooms just to like chill in and whatever. I'm like, I'll literally do some there just for fun, and because like that's the other thing, I'll be kind of nerding out because I got to bring a camera because then when I have everyone's miniatures, I can look at them and take the picture that I really want. Like, okay, I know this one will look good at this angle and like snap a pic and then whatever. So I think
That,
I'll have some fun.
that's something that if they were still doing them over here, they should do like the Horus Heresy Weekenders or even
Yeah.
the Library Weekenders, because at those events, those weekend events, you would get all the sort of the graphic designers and all that. They'd have
Yep.
their own room to show off what they're sort of what they do.
Oh
It's
yeah.
Roberts who does virtually all of the covers of the Horus Heresy book series and the Siege of Terror book series. He's there. Rachel Pierce is occasionally there as well, and they get a few of the other guys and girls that work in that sort of department where they do all the
Mm-hmm.
sort of like artist works and
Yep.
displays and stuff, and they're there, and they are such a great bunch of people to go in,
Yeah.
speak to. Um, and if you was at one of those events and you went in there, basically, and Scott, you'd just be chatting to them, and you'll be there all day.
Yeah, for sure.
They
I
would
would
like
get
just
into
feed off of
that.
you,
Like
you'd feed
everyone
off of
doing
them.
it and
You'll be influencing them, and they'll be influencing you.
yeah. No, that's it. There's a lot. It's so and I see people like Frog. I'm like, oh gosh, like he started after me streaming and he's like doing all this cool stuff and like, I'm like, how do you get in that much like he puts a lot of effort into your content and everything and so it like inspires me. I'm like, man, what am I doing? I'm like, is there I gotta start doing more cool stuff and whatever. So it's just you see it all and just be around it. It is like I'm influenced by that, it's like you get to get the energy or whatever going on.
I actually put up some videos on my YouTube today. Actually,
You did?
yeah, it was. I actually took them. I actually did these videos as like a demo of how to paint House Divine Knights, and
Oh,
I did it last year in lockdown. But
okay.
where I was recording on my phone, I couldn't transfer them onto the computer for some reason.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I figured how to sort of. I've got iMovie, so I actually just edited a few of them onto there, just like stuck them all together.
Yep.
And then I've done a 3-part thing today. I just posted them up there. I've actually got to go on to my YouTube after this and sort all the tags out.
Yeah.
But it was just like, they've been sitting there for over a year and a half. And I thought, hold on a sec, I can actually just upload off my phone now and just
Yeah.
do that. So I thought I'd get that going. I've got to get my numbers up. I've only got, about 400 odd sort of subscribers. I need to get to that magic 1,000, and I need to get. Well, last year I had my review come through, and I had 69,000 minutes of viewing time. So that's about. I was told by Sam, my partner, afterwards that. Yeah, that's just over 1,000 hours. You need 4,000 hours to get monetized and 1,000 followers. So it's like,
Yeah. And I kind of screwed up because like for the last month I posted a lot of shorts, and then like the last couple weeks because I had a bunch going on, I didn't post anything. But I the shorts were doing good as far as reach, and I was doing that, and then but I wasn't doing like a longer form video that like actually gets you time, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I put some thought into that kind of format and what I might do and everything, and I'm gonna like just do some more longer, like for me a long one would be like 5 minutes or something, 8 minutes. So I gotta get more, more content. There's so much to do with this stuff that you just like you can't do it all, you know what I mean? And so like you're doing this, and it's like, okay, you got to do your Instagrams and your this and your that and what's working. And the thing for me is like I look at it and I was like, a lot of stuff is working. Like Instagram probably grows the fastest. Twitter is my most used and connects me with like the people like the most, where you tweet back and forth. And then like YouTube is like long term where you can possibly monetize it and all that. So it's just being a whatever, like whatever that is.
The way I say it,
Creator.
the shorts get people to your page, but then you have to have something for them to actually stick around and want to watch for more than
Exactly.
15 seconds.
was it
Yeah.
Brian put a couple of comments up here. So like, with the LVO, he's playing in a narrative event, so it should be lots of fun to ease back into events. But then he goes on to say that he's been trying to think of how to get going on some content showing off painting conversions, just not sure how to get started. I think like myself and Scott and even and Frog, you just go out there, you just set it up and you just go for it.
That's
just put
it.
whatever, and then just build from there. It is something that, like, when you're sitting there and you think I'm doing some hobby, even if you're just like doing sort of like because most of my stuff is literally just me talking with the people interacting, like what we do here. Really, it's just another form without a quality artist like Scott doing a paint over in the background.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it's. I figure, hey, you like this. I don't mind. When we have like extra person like Frog or something stop by, and I was like, all right, I got my feet wet, and that what it was for me. Like you hit the nail on the head, and I have to operate that way because if I overthink it, it's like paralysis by analysis. And if I start thinking, oh, what am I gonna sound like, or what am I gonna, they'll be like, maybe I shouldn't, and whatever. And so it's just like turn on something, start streaming, and go. And the community, I think just in general, it's like you get your few people at first that you interact with regularly, and the people who come there are people who want to interact with you. You know what I mean? You stop over, so it's like, oh, hey, I'm just chatting with like my friends, and that was good for me, and that it made me feel more comfortable to be like, oh, hey, I'll do this or talk about that or whatever, and that's been like a good growth experience for me, I guess.
And that's how you do it. It's just basically, it does take time. You do get like, I find with Twitter, for example, I've probably gotten my most like incidents where I've got the most followers and likes have been in
Yeah.
situations where I've had a moan about something.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not by nature a moany person.
No.
I took something to Twitter last year, and I got a load of people, sort of like new followers, lots of interactions, and there was a lot of people talking about the subject, which was about some guy moaning about
Yeah.
airbrushing being superior to painting with brush, especially when he was commenting on something that I had done, that somebody else had posted up. And it was like, you're having a go at my work, and I was just saying, like, I paint to show people that 80% of people don't have an airbrush.
Yeah.
So why do a tutorial
Yeah, if not over. Yeah.
where only 20% is going to get the benefit? And I try to make things like easy for people to get into, because that's the biggest hurdle with hobbying is painting something, and you start doubting yourself a lot of the time. You have that sort of like, oh, I don't think it's good, and that can affect you in the long term. So you've got to sort of get into the mindset where you do something, and by just watching something that I've done, which is quite simple and easy to do, when you've done that, you get that motivation to try something else and move on. Like a friend of mine who watched a couple of my little videos of how I painted a certain Titan Legion. He done one and said, like, this was so easy, and it's like, because I've been able to finish a model quickly, it's got him into the zone to do. And then he's done more, and then he went on to another one of my legions that I did and done the same thing and repeated. And like, he even in a week he done about 5 or 6 Titans.
I know. And see that, because that's what I'll need to do. Like, that's what I'm gonna, because they do that, and when I pick it up, it's like, hey, just do the basic whatever, you know what I mean? Just like get something done and like get it painted. And Ryan said, oh wait, Echo said, I love what you're doing with those tanks, Frog. What I'm gonna do is, Frog, we're gonna give you a little one screen close-up action. This is your big moment to shine. This is your big moment to shine, dude. Show off stuff. Bam.
So the plan was to end up with a kind of a forest camo and using a little makeup brush that's super cheap, but just basically stippling it on and adding colors and keep going until you've covered up the base coat.
Will you wash over these, or is that sort of the
Yeah, I'll end up doing probably a lightened Agrax.
Yeah, nice.
Just to get in the.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Agrax. Agrax is the best thing ever.
It covers all sorts of sins.
Yeah, that's what I could see myself using that. And so that is for BattleTech, obviously the miniature game, correct?
Right.
But so how, and I kind of remember from back in the day, like points wise. Oh wait, let me get this. I'm gonna put back out. Points wise, like what are you dealing with if you fielded tanks in those games? Like what would how many mechs or how many tanks, like how does the game play out that way?
Well, you have your battle value for each of the units, and depending on what they have on them, and then of course the tanks can vary in weight all the way from super light to as much as your heaviest tank, your heaviest battle mech.
Goddamn fireflies.
They're like little Savannah Masters. I had a buddy growing up when we were playing BattleTech. He had a group of Savannah Masters, which are these little light hovercraft, and they go really far on the board, and so they're incredibly difficult to hit. And he'd just swarm attack some light or medium mech and wipe it out because you'd be shooting everything you have at it and missing. Super irritating.
What Ryan said, it's really cool to see Titans in 40K is not very into that side as much. Ryan, why? I know Ryan's. See, this is one of those where I'm always like, I get comfortably being a fool in public. I've interacted with Ryan Taylor a bunch. What is the Twitter? When you get a chance, Ryan, tell me your Twitter. I want to check it out for a second. You're in the right place if you like Titans. We got I would say we have the world record holder of painted Titans. So I don't care what anyone says. That we got them right there, dude.
Most Titans. Although
And
I don't think I have. Well, there was one guy earlier in the year, and I think it was actually a commission job he was doing, but he
okay,
had an absolute bugger ton of
really,
knights that he built. Because my thing is that I've got 150 painted knights
yeah,
and currently 106.
that's so
painted
crazy,
Titans.
dude.
And I know the Titan side of things. There's people that are near, like getting closer, because obviously I haven't painted as much in the last few months. Since hitting the 100 mark, I'll just ease back.
Yeah, you already did it. Like it's like climbing Mount Everest. Then like what? You run up a couple more
there, man.
times.
I'm at the peak.
Yeah, dude. It's like what else, man? Like let someone else get a little glory. You're not greedy.
Exactly. I was the first. That's all that matters. But it is. You get to that sort of stage, but there is. I don't know if he's painted them all, to be honest with you, because he posted up this picture of all his built knights, all his boxes and stuff. But I have not ever seen a follow up to that. So until they do,
Yeah.
I'm still holding the record at the moment,
Yeah.
the unofficial record.
Yeah. It's official. We're calling it official. They can't stop us.
Ryan, you're right. The Titanic, the models themselves, that's the thing. Is like I've always loved like mecha, so BattleTech I love, but the models for Titanicus, because they are that little bit bigger,
yeah,
they are that much more impressive when you're sitting there. Like I've got some of the newer BattleTech stuff recently, which I've been painting up, and I've enjoyed them as a little sorbet project sort of thing. But I want to see, a Sunder, or something in AT sort of level size, because that would just be like really impressive.
Yeah, there's gonna.
That's
kind of
my long-term goal, to have a force of battle mechs that are at that 240% scale, which is probably bigger than.
Yeah, you printed one big, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got a few that are pretty big.
They're a big boy.
I just need a map that has the bigger scale.
Oh yeah. Well, you got that room for it now. Dang.
Yeah, upscale your the hexagonal maps.
Yep.
Yeah. Big hex.
That's what I liked about that game, because you took in the old game, the last time I played it, because it was taking the topography into consideration. So like, you had your. I remember having a Hunchback 2C.
Oh
I think,
gosh, that's right. I remember Hunchbacks now.
You're sitting in a lake. Literally, I was stuck in a lake.
Oh yeah, because you would cool off in the water.
Yeah.
And then wait for someone to come near, and there was like trapdoor spider. Just walk out and then shoot him with the AC-20.
Oh yeah, AC-20s. That's right. What? There were other ACs, right?
Yeah, Ultra ACs as well, which are the more sort of high-tech ones, weren't they, Mech?
Yeah, the Ultra ACs, you get that double fire.
Yeah.
And of course, the trade-off is that they can jam.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gosh. It's going to be fun to play something again.
PCs. That's why I like the Sunder, or 4, as it was also known as. That was my. I actually had the a sew-on patch for a 4, because in London they used to have a virtual world, which we've spoken about before.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, just seen Echo's post. Hunchback of the Lake. What is your wisdom?
Is your wisdom?
Yeah. I used to enjoy playing the virtual world where they had this Mech Warrior game, which was basically, you was on Solaris 7, which was like
Mm-hmm.
a world which was set aside for doing fighting sort of thing. And
Gladiator fights.
yeah, and you'd sit in these like cockpits, basically. You shut yourself in. So you're sitting there, you've got this nice comfy chair, sort of like a pilot chair. You've got your joystick on one side, you've got your throttle on the other with your fire buttons.
Yeah. Is it the one with the foot pedals?
In front of you as well, around the screen. So you could assign weapons. So like you could fire left button on the thumb, which would fire the left side weapons. And then you could do the right side, fire the right side weapon. Then you do the alpha strike with the trigger. So
is it the one with the foot pedals that you had? The
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, but you didn't. You could either have it in basic settings, so it was just like controlled by the joystick, or if you click on the advanced setting,
that's what I did right away.
Steer with your head, with your feet, and then you torso twist.
I gotta see. Remember after the game they would give you the printout of the game?
Yeah.
So I gotta find mine because I went there with some friends and then we ended up there was other people there too, and then that's like when I was half competitive with stuff, so I was like, and I wasn't like competitive with other people, I was like competitive with myself. So I get there, I'm like, all right, dude, I gotta do it. So I was like, right away, hit the advance button. I'm like, all right, dude, they're not gonna turn their torso, so I'm gonna be able to like run one way and like blast them as I'm running around. And then I got like the high stats for the gamer. I was like, yeah, this is such a nerdy little thing.
Because I used to go down there on my own, and then I took like a group of my friends in there. So we like hired out we went in there. We had 8 pods because you had 8 players on there.
Oh yeah.
So we're all in these pods, and it was they were targeting me because I played before, and so I was going around on standard, and then as I'm being chased, I just thought, oh fuck this!
Yeah.
Press the advanced button, and this guy, my mate Norm, who call sign was Wolfman, and he's chasing me, and suddenly I could just imagine him like he's targeting me as I'm trying to dodge. Put this advanced, and then I just see my torso turning round as I'm running away, and I hear quite audibly, "Oh fuck!" And then this alpha strike right into his cockpit.
Yeah,
it was a sweetest move.
Do they still have those? Do they still have those anywhere?
I don't think they do. I think there was one in the 2000s. There was still like a virtual world somewhere.
Yeah.
I know somebody was buying up those pods to repurpose them to bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh, were they? Yeah. So, Mech, you played in one of those before too?
Yeah, we went. There was a GameWorks in Seattle. We went 5 or 6 times.
Okay. I only went once. I knew it was like we had to go. The closest one when I went, it was like in Chicago on their pier or whatever. So that's the one time I went.
What was your call sign?
I don't even know. I gotta
my god!
I don't remember. I probably do. I'm gonna go find it. I hope I didn't get that thrown away. That was like one of my life achievements, winning that game.
Should we put that in the eulogy?
Yeah, dude. And check it out. Like that'll be one of the in the tombstone. Check my stats.
See how badass I was.
Yeah, check it out.
Check these guns.
So cool. I love this thing. This is so cool. I dig the funky shoes. Oh, that's right. Echo wrote some stuff for Project. Yeah, he was doing the Project Wingman and the Ace Combat. I did Ace Combat. I don't think I ever played Project Wingman.
The last sort of like flight simulators I had played was brilliant.
Oh,
Apart from X-Wing versus TIE Fighter,
yeah.
it was F-111 Nighthawk.
Okay.
And that was in sort of the early 90s, and I played it on a Commodore Amiga. And
Yeah.
I remember I played it so much, and I would always go to the Persian Gulf because that was typical back then.
Yeah.
Flying around in this F-117, or I'd go into Western Europe theatre, and I'd just be like, I remember bombing the crap out of Hanover. I don't know why it was on outside.
They need. I don't
Probably
know
had it
why, but
coming.
they needed
Yeah,
exactly.
they said something, and so I just went around and bombed it. So yeah, it's oh, sorry, I got Sam just messaged me. She wants to know what a Disney Plus password is.
Dun dun dun! Don't give it away on stream.
Yeah.
Everyone will
know.
be logging in. I'll be the first one. What's this Disney
It's
Plus? I'm in.
this. Are you getting my keystrokes?
Yeah, yeah. Like didn't they have the thing back in the day, like when you could put the audio up to a payphone, and because it would do the
Yeah,
sounds, yeah,
I learned that from Hackers.
yeah,
Best film ever.
That was a documentary filmed in real time, by the way.
yeah. I love those cheesy hacker movies from back in the day. I like the version of what the internet was always cracked me up on those. It would be like you just how they logged in and what they did and how it worked. It was always like so like gamified or whatever.
Well, that's the thing. I always like looking back now. Like you can tell the youth of today is that yeah, basically when we were young and we were trying to access the internet, we had to basically have something scream as if it was being tortured in hell before it would let you in.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
there's actually round here now. They're actually going around doing. Like we've got fiber optic cable here for our internet.
Okay.
On average, we're probably I should be getting somewhere between sort of like 20 to 30 meg internet speed sort of thing.
Yeah.
But in South End up there, just a couple of miles away where my kids are, they're actually having 1 gigabyte internet installed, like fiber optic.
Oh.
So it's just like, oh my god! It's just like you blink and it's there.
Yeah, that's crazy. My internet stream is decent. I don't know what it is, like 100 or something like that. So it's okay, but it's not nearly like the fiber optics or anything. But I don't have much problems streaming or like any of that gaming. But if I was like gaming hardcore competitively, then it all changes because you're like fighting for every bit of latency and everything else.
When I played Counter-Strike back in the early
Yeah.
2000s, there was a lot of competition over who could get that lowest ping.
Mhm.
And in the dorm at the university I was at, we got it down to a 3 or 4 millisecond ping
Oh
to the
yeah.
server that was in also in Seattle. The server was there, maybe 5 or 6 miles away.
Oh, that's
And
right,
so
because
we
Seattle
had
does
4
have a
ping.
server. Yeah.
Yeah, we had 4 ping, and everybody else was at like 150.
Yeah.
And so you just had that little bit of edge that, of course, just annoyed everybody else.
Yeah. Better
Everyone
you
else
than
is
them.
lagging.
Yeah.
God
You're
damn,
not good.
lag,
You just got the connection.
I remember like when I PC gamed a lot when what was the name of the game? It was Unreal Tournament when like around that time. So they had Unreal Tournament with like the rockets and where you could make your own boards and then people would upload them and then so you did this huge list of like players. So that was always it was a little I like my shooters like technically slower. I almost wish shooters were a lot more slower and like whatever, like more my dream game is a pistols only shooting game based on the old 007, but all cleaned up and technical. Like that would be my favorite. No, I wouldn't even do machine guns. I would just do pistols and like with the clips and like a body armor vest and do a real like technical shooter. But um I played that a lot, and that game was, oh man, that one was fun. Even though I never really got into the Unreals after that. I think I drifted more towards like your even like Halo or Call of Duties. There was one, it wasn't Call of Duty, it was pre-Call of Duty, but there was a really popular World War One, World War Two game back there.
Day of
And
Defeat.
no, I can't. In I used to play that one a lot because you could like climb in the trees and hide, and there was like a bunch of good stuff going on, and I played that one a lot. And like I did, I mean, back then I played everything, but Command and Conquer was another one. I'd play with a friend of mine, and like you'd play 2-on-2, and gosh, was that fun to me and stressful. Like video games would be so stressful, like when you're playing in some great game trying to win, and like, oh
Medal of Honor.
god. Oh, Medal of Honor, that is it.
Medal of Honor
Yeah.
was before Modern Warfare and Call of Duty.
Yeah, that was the game. I can't see these are my people. These are my people I'm talking to. Like they
I used
understand
to
me.
play. I used to play Medal of Honor, and then done Call of Duty, like the World War II one that they done,
Hmm.
where you had Kiefer Sutherland doing the voice of the
The
sergeant and all that.
I
It was
remember that first one. I believe it was the first Call of Duty, and it was World War II. And my gun, I'm usually a submachine gun player because I'm constantly in assault mode. Sometimes I go to rifle because I also like you keep the combat in front of me and kind of skate the edge of the board and circle everyone when it's duty time. But that game, I remember it because I would use a bar, which was a heavy machine gun, but because it was 50 cal, you basically use it as a sniper rifle, or you could hold down the trigger
30.
and really like light stuff up. So because it was like a sniper rifle for long shots and that, I would use that a lot in that game.
the Browning automatic rifle you use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
30
like,
cal. Yeah.
is
Yeah,
it?
no,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
30
Yeah,
cal, not 50.
Frog saying
30, yeah,
it,
excuse me.
it weren't 50 mil. Don't oversell yourself, Sam. It was, yeah, your 50 mil that you used to have on top of the your deuce and a half,
Yeah.
maybe. As they used to do it. I was watching Kelly's Hero the other day, so it's like
Kelly's Heroes. I haven't even
set
heard
up
of that in
their
a long time.
BAR and the 50 mil, 50 caliber.
No.
But no, the actually when I used to play that game, I actually used to just go around with an Enfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or if you was going to get it like on the German side of things, you get a what is it, the STG 44.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, Medal of Honor was the first one, and then I say Call of Duty just annihilated all competition, really.
Yeah, and I liked it. I like a range. There was one game I'll never remember. It was, I don't know if it was PlayStation. I think it was Xbox, and there was there was a couple of them. So they did one that the first one I think was a Vietnam-based one. Then they did one that was based on like I think the Iraq War when it was going on. But I always remember because the first one, it was one of the few first-person shooters where like because of how the graphics and everything was and the game design if you just laid down in a field, like really no one's going to find you. It was more closer to laying down in a real field. So you could really stalk and really be like, hey, if you wanted to lay low and just lay there, like odds are of someone running directly over you in tall grass and spotting you was minimal and stuff. So if you were good, you could really hide. So it really amplified. Like there wasn't a lot of, hey, like Call of Duty, it becomes like, hey, you're on this part of the board, you know where everyone's going to be, and those are the choke points. This wasn't like that. So you could just lay there. And that game, I got really high ranked. I think I was like literally up to like top five in the world in that game. And it was a smaller game, but it was still because you could do such crazy stuff. And like, when you were like in full stalker mode, people could not find you. Like it wasn't like, oh, they're shooting from here. It was all over the place.
I was just say Ryan in the chat is going like he was talking about the internet dial-up where it's like the brr beep brr
Yeah.
ding, ding. Siege was good for a slow burn shooter. He's been playing Lawnmower Simulator.
A friend of mine, he doesn't even play much. They played lawn. They said Lawnmower Simulator was really cool.
Yeah, I went to pick my boy up from my niece's because she looks after him on a Sunday, and her and him and his and her boyfriend, oh sorry, fiance now, were playing Lawnmower Simulator before I turned up. Still remember the mission from Call of Duty where your team come out of the grass. Now, is that the one where they're in Chernobyl?
Oh
There was that
yeah.
one where they when the soap, the SAS would go out to Chernobyl and they're hunting down some bad dude, and they were going through the long grass in that. So I'm assuming it's that one where they're going around, taking out the sentries before moving into towards Pripyat, the town there. Because I only done like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare up to 3 because I just love playing with Captain Price and Soap, the SAS dudes. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite duty
was yesterday morning.
It was just this morning. There was the Raffica pistols, and I figured out early that something was up with them where it wasn't like they were, I forget what, if you go and look back now it tells you what was different about them, and so I figured out early that they were basically OP, and they were a 3-shot burst pistol, but they were super accurate, and I had it down where you could flick your gun, pull the trigger, you would like start on the left side of them, and as I would flick the gun to the right, I would be pulling the trigger, and the burst was like perfect, right? So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, so anything in that range would just get hit with one of them. And we used to play hardcore a lot, so it would totally take people down, and plus you could dual wield them. And man, I used to get a lot, and people would get so mad because they would have like all the machine guns and all built up, and I would just run around with pistols because you were also really fast, and I would get like the top kills of the game, and they'd be like so mad about that. They always be like, "You're hacking," and you get all the messages. I was like, those were the best when they would accuse you of hacking and stuff. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm saying it was the same game with the Modern Warfare one with going around Chernobyl, because that was pretty like again going around Chernobyl, around the city of
Yeah.
Pripyat sort of thing. Seeing that sort of like a deserted city that's irradiated, going around in the grass and stuff like that. But whenever I used to play like multiplayer on those games, like I had 2 guys that I played with regularly, Bunker Owl and Blue Can, their names were.
Yep.
They were like top players.
Yeah.
Bunker Owl, I remember playing in one game and he got 48 kills.
Yeah.
And it's like, he'll go on a kill streak, he'll get a Harrier attack, go for that, and then he'll get something. It was just like, oh my god, it was just like pulling a drone strike. Woo! And you just, how the hell do you like? I'm middling at best.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there just going, how the hell? Like, I think my best kill streak in Modern Warfare was like 19.
Gotcha.
And that was just by pure fluke. I didn't even realize I did it. That's how. I've got that many people. You just run around the corner. And there, shoot him in the head.
Mech Frog, you still play?
Yeah.
That's actually looking really cool, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you see, I like watching like you and even like Bad Posture Paint. Well, he's not Bad Posture Paint or Pretzel Painter who started streaming again, because you guys like you're going for getting it done, and it's still like when I look at it, it looks really cool, and it's like the way I would see myself painting. Like you make it seem less intimidating. It's like, oh, look how he's doing it fast, and yet it still looks really cool and all that. So I actually like watching those. And what I was gonna say is you still play some BattleTech video. You do play a couple video games. I remember you playing BattleTech, correct?
Yeah, every once in a while, as my kids get older, they need less like direct supervision. So I've been able to play a little bit more. Played BattleTech. got an RPG that I want to get going here one of these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Which
I used to
RPG?
play a lot of video games.
Yeah, we probably all sort of did.
Hmm.
Back in the early 2000s, before the CPL, the professional gaming was a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
We were kind of in the ground level. There was a Counter-Strike. God, what was it? It was before the CPL.
Rainbow Six
Yeah.
as well.
Can't remember what the league was, but we were on a team called TSO. It's the Speakeasy Offensive. It was kind of like professional gamers before
Yeah.
professional gamer was a thing. And so like our best compensation was like, hey, the company that supported us was Speakeasy. They were a DSL company in Seattle. But they sponsored us, and we were all super happy because they got us hats and
Heck
all
yeah.
sorts of swag to go off to these tournaments around the country. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But now I
did-
look back and like professional gamers now making millions of dollars. Like, wow,
Yeah.
if we had only come along a decade later,
Yeah. Those were good. I used to play a lot, so still then I would do a lot of like at arcades, would do in particular Street Fighter, then Mortal Kombat, and at the same time there was a football game called Blood Bowl, or not Blood Bowl, but Cyber Ball. It was like robots playing football. And I did those a lot. And I went all the way. The most hardcore was probably then when GoldenEye came out. Like, oh God, the hours we used to spend on that. Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous.
We had the old Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, that was a good one.
I only done number 2. I done a number 2.
I did number two in duty.
Metal Gear
Did you
Solid
do
2
a
is
number
going
two in
on
duty, or
every
which one?
this is taking a turn.
and it freaked me out a little bit because like I'm playing this game, doing all this like espionage, sneaking around everywhere and all that sort of thing, and then next minute you're fighting a chicken robot, and
Yeah.
or something that looked like a robotic with chicken legs, and you're going, how the hell did that go from there to there? Where did that? Is that the Metal Gear? You know,
They did good like that. On that game in particular, that like to mix them both in like that, I think they did really good.
yeah. From there though, I went to Splinter Cell with
Yeah. So
Sam
I was
Fisher.
okay.
Splinter Cell.
So I wasn't that big in a Splinter Cell, but I played it. But one of my all-time favorite games is Splinter Cell, and because it had I keep waiting for this game to come back because I knew it even when I played it. So me and my friend would play it, and they had a Splinter Cell what was super co-op, right? So you could sneak into the spot, you both could get in position, you both could line up your shots and then do stuff. And oh man, I'm a gamer where I like to play with my friends. I really don't solo game much. So like if I'm playing with someone or whatever, and that was so perfect because it wasn't just a shooter, it was like a little bit of sneak around, do the stuff, plan out how you're gonna kill them, and like all that stuff. And God, I love that co-op version of that. It was so fun to me.
Yeah, I used to. The other one I used to do a lot of was again it was a Tom Clancy game. So you had like obviously you had Rainbow Six, but
Hmm.
I like playing Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
And with that, because it was like Modern Warfare, where you literally, if you die, you are dead. You don't come
Yeah.
back.
I know some of that. I'm gonna go do doggy stuff. You guys keep them busy.
Okay, but yeah, like playing Ghost Recon, like you'd be like 4 of us, and you'd be going like, okay, we'll move along, go down here, right? You go left, you go right, you hold the center, I'll cover you, and then suddenly someone goes, "Oops, I just stood on a landmine," or something. And I just walked out in the middle of the street and got shot in the face. Okay, let's go back again, start over, and then progress. But I liked that sort of game because there was more risk involved.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I prefer games where you can where you have that kind of hardcore thing, like playing Diablo 3 and hardcore Diablo 2, of course, but where character deaths actually matter, even like that in RPGs, Fire Emblem, the idea that your actions can have pretty serious consequences. If not starting over the game, like with Fire Emblem, at least if you're honest enough and you don't just load up your save file to make sure the character doesn't die. But the game wouldn't actually end because you may lose a character, but as long as it's not your character, your specific character, then you can keep going and even finish the game. So, kind of neat. I love that.
Echo just mentioned about the sidearms in Destiny 2. It was like, oh Lord, burst pistols. You would love Destiny 2 sidearms. There are some really nice sidearms in Destiny 2. I have to admit. I hear you on friends being fantastic. I know we are going to lose a game if I'm top of my team. There's been times where I've been playing the game and going, hold on a sec, how am I at the top of the charts on our team? I'm the worst player here.
The rest of y'all need to get a lot better at this game, right?
Well, no,
I'm not going to get any better, so you got to get better.
Yeah, what the hell's going on? Because I should not be up here. You know, that's the thing. You have your hierarchy. You know that player A is always going to be the ultimate killer. Player B is going to be the next best killer, healer, or whatever. And then like I'm in sort of like D, sort of maybe E or even F sort of thing. You know, I'm a team player and I'm a good sort of, you know, I'll help out where I can type person. But if I'm top of that chart on the player stats, it's just like there's something seriously wrong here. I should not be up that high. What's it? Echo. The only Metal Gear game I ever played was Revengeance, which is an absolute treat.
I've actually never played a Metal Gear game. I didn't have the PlayStation, but my buddy did, though. He had a tendency when I'd go over, he'd want to show me the game.
And by playing it in front of you?
Load up all of his various save files and show me like various pieces of the game. But I'd ask like, well, can I play? And he'd like, no, let me show you this next thing. So I've never actually get to play.
That's the worst, dude.
I was Ryan, the most common phrase when playing with friends is I'm dead. Echo agrees. That and the evil laughter.
Do you guys go.
Yeah, no, it was like just my old flatmate that I lived with, Christy. I actually met him through Xbox, and it was we used to play a game back in 2000, the summer of 2007. When I got an Xbox because I wanted to play Halo. I played it, and then they brought out a game called Shadowrun, which is based on the role play.
Yeah. I love that. I love Shadowrun.
I played that to death on the Xbox, and like I made most of my friends Xbox friends came from playing in Shadowrun games.
Yeah,
and me, him, and my other long-term friend Dan were in a game because it was first team to 6 wins sort of thing in like kill league, capture the flag type thing, and we were losing. And each round you'd accumulate money, and after about 2 rounds, I would have the skills and the weapons that I wanted. I didn't need to spend. So Christy's gone, has anyone got any spare cash? I want to get a rocket launcher.
yeah.
And I went, yeah, because I also went by the name of the Bank of Lee, because literally I'd have all the money. Like, you can transfer funds between each other. So I just gave him loads of cash. And as I'm sitting there and I'm watching his avatar on the screen, suddenly rocket launcher appears. I thought, excellent, we're going to do good here. And then I see him turn towards me, and then I see him fire. And then I see him die. And then it's just this laughter going. And I'm going, I was like, oh my God. What? Why would you do that? What? And he's just laughing. And I'm going, I don't know what's worse, the fact that you killed me or the fact that I paid you to do it. And then there's only like literally like a couple of years later, I ended up moving in with him after I separated from my wife.
Yeah.
He had a flat with a spare room. He said, "Yeah, come and live with me." I went, "Okay." But yeah, he's one of those players that he's really good at gaming, but he's the ultimate troll.
Yeah.
He just plays games to wind people up. He would literally on like Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh yeah.
That mega big with all the little purchases and all that sort of
Yep.
stuff. He would go on joining with random people doing missions. They
And
would
then
get
botch
to
it.
the last stage of the mission.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching him, and he's like, "All you got to do is drive this van with the cargo into the glowy spot."
Yeah.
And he'd gotten out as someone else was driving, and he'd set up like C4 charge. So
Yeah.
just when they get into it, he detonates it and kills them all. He spent 35 minutes doing his fucking mission,
Yeah.
and then he just kill him, and it's like,
Oh God. Yeah.
yeah, it was. But yeah, he's a good person to have on your team, unless you're giving him money to kill you.
Unless you
And that'll eventually that'll happen no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Play long enough.
Yeah, he's been playing Sea of Thieves since it came out.
God. Yeah.
If you've played Sea of Thieves, it is a really, really good, fun game, and you instantly turn into a pirate because you're going, "Arr, arr me heart."
The only thing so I thought the graphics on that game were amazing, right? And the sea combat, I would play that. It was like it's just incredible to me. But then it's all gets botched when they go to like when you're boarding the ship and all that. I was like, oh God, that like lost me because I could not like I'm decent at shooters, right? There was like nothing about a shooter with that. I was like, you can't hit, you can't really aim, you can't. I'm like, what is going on with this? And so that drove me batty with that game, or I'd probably still be playing it now. I was like, they just needed to like I don't know. Like if you killed the person, if you kill the whole crew, the ship should just respawn somewhere else and then you can sail in because people would just sit on the ship and you would spawn and then they'd kill you again. And I was like, what is going on? That was not good. But the graphics and the shooting of the cannons was incredible.
Yeah, Christy would literally go and sit in the crow's nest for like half an hour.
Hmm.
He would board a ship, sit there, and then
Yeah.
like if they'd like sailed somewhere, he would go down and tamper with stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he would lose his ship somewhere, not get a new one. He would just like on a rowboat, just row off somewhere
Yeah.
to like sit there. And as he's watching the ship, because most of the time, if you've got gunpowder kegs, you either stick them in the crow's nest or you stick them on the very front of the ship.
Yeah.
And he would snipe them. So you just go to a random island and just snipe passing ships and stuff.
That's funny.
Greetings, Overton.
Overton, thanks for making it.
But yeah, that thing it was meant to be that there was no advantage. So however long you've been playing the game, when you're in combat, you are fight. You know that's it. You don't get any buffs to your stats when fighting.
Yeah.
You know, a noob can defeat a veteran and vice versa quite easily, sort of thing. But it was the thing. Like lots of people I spoke to after said, like, "Oh yeah, I played that game," but like you're going around and like you keep on getting into fights with other like teams and all that, and they just like they board your ship and you steal your stuff, and you go, you're playing a pirate game.
Yeah, I liked that part. If the hand to hand or whatever was a little cleaner or the shooting, I would like because man, going in the sea. And what's funny is I didn't even play it much, but it has one of my all-time favorite gaming memories because we were on a ship and it was just me and a friend of mine, and I climb up this ladder and I was coming up top and someone shot this long cannonball, dude, and the cannonball hits me and knocks me into the water. And we're already sinking. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I didn't die. I'm in the water. And then I'm like, oh, dude, so his ship's going and then he's bailing it, trying not to die, and I'm trying to swim to it. And it took us over a half hour, right? He kept this thing alive for a half hour under fire as I'm swimming and the ship's going and it's slowly looping, right? You know, because he can't turn it. So it's like, and I'm trying to catch the angle and I'm doing all this and I dodge a shark. I'm like, oh my God, sharks. You know, it was one of the first times I was playing and it was literally one of the first times we were playing multiplayer. And the ship's slowly sinking, right? Because he's like boarding it up and it's like still coming down. It's after a half hour and I remember getting to the ship and I just happened to turn around and I never seen it since. And it was a full on Kraken coming right after me. I was like, no way, dude. And I like one of those where you feel it in your chest, you know, and I never saw, like, I didn't know the Kraken was real or whatever. And it seemed fake. I turned around, there's this Kraken. I'm like, no way, dude. I got onto the ship just in time and then he was sinking. I helped board him up and get it, and we like survived. And I was like, I always remember that when I was like, that was just such a cool series of events, dude.
All right, guys, I gotta head out. I got parent stuff to do.
Right on. You have a good one. Thanks for joining us, Frog.
It's fun chatting.
Yeah, for real. Let me go. How do I get back to this? I can go.
There you go.
Onesie, twosie. Oh, Lee's bigger. No, let's not do that. Lee that big. There, a more respectable sized Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need me like extreme close up.
Close up.
You don't need
Close
that.
up, close up, close up. What do you?
Yeah, thanks, Mechanical Frog, for joining us. This
Yeah. Mechanical Frog 12 on Twitter. And what was I gonna say? Do you get any like time off or whatever this week?
Yeah, today was my last day at work.
Okay.
Which was quite funny, really, because last night was the work do, and because I work on the other side of Essex, it was like I had to drive over there to this. It was a really nice restaurant. They had these little outdoor pods.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice, and the food was amazing.
Oh,
and I don't say that enough, but the food was, perfect.
Yeah.
The only problem is that I was driving, so I couldn't drink.
Oh, yeah.
And I had agreed. I said, "Well, I'm not drinking." My boss was being driven by his sister, who also works for the company, and basically, I got roped into driving him home. So he was quite, liquored up, basically.
Yeah.
And like when you've had a lot of drink and you're just like having little. Imagine you're in a taxi, a cab going somewhere. You have a little small talk. You're drunk. You have a small talk, and my boss goes to me like we're halfway home to his, and he goes, "So you got the kids tomorrow?" And I turned around to him. I went, "No, I'm working." And he just goes, "Oh, sorry about that." So, no, I'm working tomorrow, Stuart. I'm there. This is my same manager, right? Because he was my manager at the company I worked at before, and now he's my boss because he owns
the
shop we work at. But when I had my bachelor party, I had to go into work the next day. He wouldn't let me have the day off. He came to my bachelor party, but he had
rough. Oh, dude, even worse.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, you got to work." I'm like, "Okay." My bachelor party, I was absolute. I don't remember anything from about 9 p.m. onwards.
Yeah.
The last thing I remember was jumping up and down after downing several sambucas or something.
Do it.
We had this one man band type guy who was playing David Bowie, and I was jumping up and down, shouting, "Bowie, Bowie, Bowie," and that's the last memory I have of that evening. Next thing I remember is waking up upside down on my bed, and because I was upside down, it's not familiar. So I'm thinking, "Where the fuck am I?"
Yeah.
And then having to go to work. which was, I just hid. I couldn't fucking work. I was in no mood. I was in no condition to work. Yeah.
Such it is. Do you get do you have to like do a bunch of household chores, or you get like some time off to do what Lee wants to do?
Well, tomorrow I've got the kids, so
Okay.
that's my day with the kids
Yeah,
anyway.
so that's fun enough at least.
Christmas Eve, I'm now having to go down to the local tip because the garbage men brought the day forward because I
Oh
was
yeah.
awoken this morning to the sound of a garbage truck. I'm like, what? It's not Thursday, it's Wednesday. And yeah, so it was a day early. And because over here where we are, they do alternate weeks. So one week they'll do
Yep.
rubbish, the next week they'll do recycling.
Cycling, yeah.
So we've got lots of bags of rubbish because Sam has been redoing the land, clearing out stuff and whatever. And yeah, it was just like a load of stuff.
Elodie, wait, oh, Elodie, well, thanks for just checking it out. Appreciate it. This miniature is super cool. So that's as far as I got for now. Pretty much done, but I'm going to add a little, like, I'll add some touch-ups over the next night or two, and then I will pass you the finished version of these. So thank you very much for submitting it, Elodie. I appreciate it. It was an incredible model, so I loved it. And Toffee, you have a good one. If I don't get to see any of you before the holidays, happy holidays. Hope you have some fun. And hopefully it's a good one. Maybe some good food or something.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it'll
do
be good
you
food.
are you doing like the family thing with food and all that?
Well, because I'm split between my
Yep.
partner and obviously my kids. So on a Christmas day, I will be going up there first thing in the morning to like open presents with the kids and all that sort of
Okay.
stuff, and then I drop them off at their nanas about
Okay.
midday onwards, and then I'll come back here. And my main job when I come back on Christmas Day,
Wait,
dinner.
I gotta cut you off just because while she's here before she goes. Elodie, does these things in this glow? Are these glowing at all? Or what are these like the round orbs in here? What are those? I want to make sure if they're not supposed to be glowing or not. And then sorry to cut you off like that. I just want to ask her before you go. Where were you? Now say it again, Lee. What were you
So yeah,
after you
so when
dropped
I
them
when I
off?
come back from the kids, so like Sam and her kids have opened their presents. The kids go off to their dads,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like I don't get to open my presents until like late afternoon normally on Christmas Day. But my main job is making gravy.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
can
gravy
appreciate that.
technician. I have the skills when it comes to gravy.
Good. You got to have one set of skills. That's a good one to have.
I'll tell you what, yeah. If you want gravy made, I'm the man.
I'm the man. Oh, that's right. So Ryan, that's where it was. So Ryan got me, I'm looking right at it. He got me my Ho Ho Hobby Vices gift, and I might and I won't have to live stream it, so I'll do like whatever, some sort of unboxing video. I think I'm gonna do my first unboxing video, and it'll be for my Hobby Vices gift. So it's literally been tempting me. It's sitting right there under my, it's like a foot away from me. So I like stare at it. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be cool. So I'm excited for that. So I'll probably do like my first unboxing video of that. I think it'll be appropriate. So I look forward to that, and thank you for participating with that, Ryan. I'm excited. And I don't even know what's, I don't have a clue because I gave a wide range of anything. I'm like, dude, you could send me sprues of, and it sounds, I don't know if it sounds lame to other people, but I'm like, I would take bits. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people will collect more and have more than I do. So just random bits. I'm like, you could paint a miniature and send it to me. You could send me new stuff. I'm like, I like terrain. So I have no idea what I could have got. So it's like, and I said, I got it earlier and I was thinking about opening it, but I'm like, you know what? This is probably gonna be my favorite gift for the year. So I'm like, I'll wait to actually open it. You know what I mean? I'm like, let me get the other stuff so that I'll have a gift I'm actually excited about. Oh, he
Yeah,
said
no,
in-laws wanted soup for Christmas. Now I'm doing a full turkey. I did. I didn't do a turkey. I haven't done much of that. A couple years ago, I did make an amazing turkey. I just kind of lucked out because it came out all right.
we normally we don't actually go for turkey. We normally have like uh, chicken. We have a couple of chickens, some beef,
Okay.
um, and some pork.
Is
Um,
that, would you say in the UK? I mean, I know it's all mixed or whatever, but like here, I think it's for Christmas, you'd have ham. Ham's like a traditional Christmas one because here you'll usually do turkey on Thanksgiving and they're so close together. In
yeah,
my circle, you wouldn't do turkey much on Thanksgiving or on Christmas, but sometimes they do. So now why can't I think of like ham stuff? We would do the ham. Um, what else is like a traditional one? That's bad when I don't even remember all the main meat courses. Wow. Huh.
yeah.
Is
No, Sam has
ham
a
big
mean,
there?
very mean Christmas because I don't because I work Sundays. I don't get to have Sunday roasts, and it's
Yeah.
one thing about well Britain in particular. We love Sunday roasts.
Yep.
Um, but the Christmas time is the only time I really get to have a proper sort of roast dinner,
Yep. Yep.
uh, and I absolutely love them. And maybe it's the gravy, I don't know, but I'm part of it. But yeah, it's just there's so much food. Like, it'll just be me, Sam, her mum and dad, and her brother who comes down um, over Christmas.
Yeah.
He'll have two dinners. He'll just wolf down uh, a plate full and then go back for more, sort of thing. Uh, I'll take a big plate and that'll just work through that sort of thing. My days of double dinners is long behind me now.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing with me too. I just don't do that anymore. I'm like, oh, I still love like, of course, I love leftovers, and
Mm,
Thanksgiving is probably still my favorite for food here because the dressing or stuffing or whatever. Oh my God, probably because I'm a bread addict, but I could have probably stuffing every day for like ever and be happy.
yeah, yeah, you gotta have the stuffing with everything. That's
Yeah,
it's important. Pigs in blankets as well. They're a big
yeah.
thing for us.
What's a
But yeah,
dessert? What do you do for dessert traditionally on like or like a range of them? What would you say like if you visited someone, what do you think they would have for dessert or something?
well, I'm always quite partial to like an apple pie and
Okay.
custard sort of thing, or you
Yeah.
can have like I love trifles. I
Yep.
absolutely love trifles. You could put a whole trifle in front of me, and I'll just face plant it and eat my way through it. But you don't get. Not everybody's a trifle fan. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's a mixture. Like there'd be like ice cream over here. There'd be some sort of maybe like a
Yep.
chocolate cake or something.
Yep.
Uh, but I'll always make sure there's something that I could have with custard because I do love a bit. That's what I had for dessert last night was apple crumble with custard,
Yeah.
along with my 10-ounce 10-ounce sirloin steak with peppercorn sauce and
Oh, see, then that's it. When I go over there, we're going out to eat too. When I
oh,
make it, we'll go get some goodies.
I had the best garlic mushrooms ever
Oh, see,
for
that's what
starter.
I've been eating a lot of. I went to a couple places. I'm a mushroom fan, and then just for whatever reason, I went like a couple times out to eat last week and got some. There was this one place had these like mushroom. There was just flatbread with mushrooms, but it was done so well, and I was like, that was
Yeah,
delicious. And then just a couple with like a steak. What's weird is now. I I don't really eat too many quote unquote meals now because like I just kind of graze all the time. So it's a bit like when I went to have a steak, as much as I love it, it was like hard to finish and it wasn't even like a huge steak. It was just like that's like a big chunk of meat.
yeah. No. It depends on what you're going for at the end of the day.
Hmm.
You know, it's steak can be temperamental. If you
Yeah.
overcooked, you've
Well,
got to be
yeah.
sort of thing. But yeah, no, it's as long as you've got peppercorn sauce, mushrooms alongside, and some
Yeah.
some
See, I'm a
Fritz.
fan of the peppercorns too.
Oh
So
yeah. I never used to be, but then again, when I was young, when I was little,
when I was
um,
a wee lad.
when I was a wee lad, I used to have my steak well done,
Okay,
and
yeah,
then I learned the errors of my ways.
yeah.
Um, so I will normally hang medium to medium rare is my happy spot.
So if when they ask me now, I literally say it's like medium rare plus. So that's like if you were to ask, I'm like, that's where I'm at, is like medium rare plus, because some medium rares, they like that's just a little bit too much for like, there's leeway. So I'm like, if you're gonna err on the side of a little more done, you know what I mean? And if I just said medium, that's a little bit close to too done for me, you know what I mean? I just like that right amount of a little bit of pink and whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So one person's medium rare is another one's medium. That's the
Hmm.
thing. Depends who the chef is, really.
Yep.
Um, what's it? In-laws wanted soup for Christmas. Now I'm doing a full turkey. Well, good luck to you, Ryan. Um,
Ooh,
Clutie
cootie.
Dumpling and trifle here. See, another guy who's in for a trifle. Um,
I love dumplings.
they
I
are
haven't
quite a
had
trifle
dumplings
snake.
in a while.
Oh, trifle! Oh, trifle's just glorious. You got your jelly, you got your custards, you got your cream. Um, Maybe you have some sponge fingers in there as well if you're lucky. And it's like you're digging for gold.
Yeah.
And you dig through the layers, and then
Oh,
eventually
Ryan
you
said,
find that jelly gold.
yeah, you get the good. He said he was in Florence at a fancy restaurant, ordered the same steak as my father-in-law. Mine was rare, his was well done. They got them mixed up. Saddest day ever. Wah,
Oh,
wah. Oh, yeah, that would be a bummer, especially like you travel somewhere and then you got your, big meal planned and all that. And I've been pretty, I've been pretty lucky as far as that goes with like most restaurants. The last one I was really excited for. There've been a few, but the big one was I got to go when I was in Vegas, and I like literally when Iron Chef was first coming out, like the original like Japanese version, or no, I think it was Japanese version, but so it was back in the day. I started watching those like way back then, and Morimoto was always like, oh God, I gotta have his food. So I finally got to go to one of his restaurants, and so they we saved up for it, and me and my friend he used to watch with me, so we had this long time fixation on Morimoto's food. So we went in there, and our server, we were ordering so much stuff that she's like, okay, well, she's like, literally stopped us from ordering to say, how about you just start with that? Because we want this, we got like the A5 Japanese Wagyu. We're taking that, we're taking the order, the sushi, and so it was like a, expensive meal because I don't even know what the Wagyu cost at that time or whatever, but. So we like splurged, but I laughed because I'm like, hey, dude, we got cut off at Morimoto's restaurant. We ordered so much stuff, but it was really good. I enjoyed that. That was a great meal.
yeah.
Um,
So it's nice when you get that a good evening and like with good company,
yeah,
fantastic food. It just
and
makes everything just amazing.
we laughed because I'm like, it was me and him, and we just go there, and it was a Vegas trip, right? And we gambled a little, but it was not like our whole point was all eating because I literally had to stop there on a flight like over one night, and it came to realize because it's Vegas, and now like what happened is now that like the buffets are almost they're still there, but like it's kind of like in a way a thing of the past, and all those like fancy chefs and everything go there. There's like such a ton of great restaurants all in a little area. You know what I mean? So it's like a ton of known chefs and like restaurants. So it's kind of like almost a food mecca. And once I realized, I'm like, dude, we gotta do like a massive food trip, like go hit a bunch of places we want. And so that's what it revolved around. It was like we would usually, we'd have basically a lunch and a dinner, and that was it. It was like, okay, lunch, and then we'd go to dinner, and then like sometimes, and it was usually like nap in between. So we like go back, like he'd go to his room, I go to mine, we like crash out for like an hour or two, and then get up and go eat. That was like our Vegas trip. It was hilarious.
That's what it's all about. Just in
Hmm.
experiencing awesome. That's what you need to do. It doesn't
That
matter
is
what
right.
you're doing, as long as it's not hurting anyone else.
No. Are you you probably are busy. You're not going to stream this Saturday, are you?
Well, probably not, seeing as it's Christmas Day. Although I
Oh, is
did
that Christmas
say
Day?
that, yeah, Christmas Day, Saturday. I did say that I it depends. If people are like chilling out, whatever, I might just go. You know what? I'm going to go online and
Yeah.
just turn up and say like, if you're about and you've got nothing better to do, I'm here. Tell us what you got for Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to be a last minute thing, so I'm
Yeah.
not expecting to do it. But because normally I spend the time getting drunk
Yeah.
after all that food. Because like last year, I did post up a picture of me drinking a variety of whiskies with a big giant teddy bear.
Yeah, I don't know
Because
what
that's
I'm
what you
gonna.
do.
Yeah, I'll probably do the family thing and do that, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might stream or whatever. I just the how big a part of my life like the hobby community and everything kind of like it still surprised me. I took the week off and I was like, you just I don't know it like I laughed. I did the hobby chat on Twitter and it was like I'm like yeah, it's almost like my therapy. You know what I mean? You go like you chat, it's like all this fun stuff and you get all like I'm like yeah, I must get endorphins out of it. You know what I mean? Like something about it, just all the
It's a getaway.
creativity.
So, as I said,
Yeah,
we look forward to it every Wednesday. We look
yeah,
forward to getting on and
and
just chatting and stuff.
yeah, and you
And
like the
Tayo,
people.
you Yada. Sorry, I am drunk. I apologise. Hey, Tayo. Welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one before, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah, buffets out here are slowly dying out. They're mostly kept alive by tourists. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. It's like with like buffets or like over here we have the all you can eat sort of restaurants. So
Mm-hmm.
there was one that I used to go to quite a lot called Aroma, which was a Chinese
Okay.
and teriyaki sort of. Literally, you turn up, you pay a set fee, and you just grab plates and fill them with food. Um,
Yeah.
Actually, the last one I went to was not actually Aroma. It was another Chinese one in the town near to us. It was where my brothers we all met. It was to celebrate my mum's birthday after her passing. Um, but that was actually quite an awesome night. You're all at a table, my nephews, nieces, and their other
Yeah.
halves, my brothers, partners, and kids and stuff. And you're going up and you're just going, mine, 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 and you just like put all this stuff onto this plate, take it back to your seat, sit there, put the table, the plate at the end of the table, and then you go again.
That's what. So I been on a cruise and I didn't know what to expect because I hadn't been many and I wasn't. I was like, oh, well, I like it or whatever. I didn't think it would kind of be my thing. I went and I was way pleasantly surprised by like the quality of the food all over the place. They have their specialty restaurants on the cruise or whatever, but their buffet and oh gosh, that was just so cool because as someone who kind of likes to graze and on little things, you could just walk by, grab a plate, grab like a bunch of little good things, snack, not even get full, and then like, 2 hours later go do it again. It's like, oh, I get to try this and I'll have that. And like that was a great thing on that.
But that was the thing. It's like when I got married out in Cancun, out in
Oh,
Mexico, and it was a hotel called the Moon Palace Hotel,
okay.
and it was phenomenal. Like the food, it was a very good quality food. There was lots of it, and you'd go there, have breakfast, and then you'd have something else. But because you were eating better and well prepared sort of
Yeah.
meals, you didn't really put weight on or anything like
No,
that.
no.
But you
Yeah,
was
yeah,
more
yeah.
fuller,
Because it's
and
not
then you
super greasy. Yeah.
no, and then like you're drinking and all that sort of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
not my favorite parts about that holiday was not only just like going out and visiting the old Mayan and Aztec type
Yeah.
places like Chichen Itza and Tulum and stuff like that. But I went up like all like the staff there, but you could tell they're Mayan descendants because they're a lot shorter than most people,
Mm-hmm.
and they had that certain sort of Mayan look about them. But I went up to the bar and I was looking at the optics behind the bar, and I thought, fancy a Jack Daniels and Coke. And I've looked up at the optics, and there was no Jack Daniels. There was Jim Beam. I thought, yeah, Jim Beam.
Yeah,
It's
close
almost as good.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. And as I'm standing there, I'm waiting for the guy to come over and the bartender to come over. How can I help you? And I go, have a Jack Daniels and Coke. Completely forgetting that they didn't have any Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
And he's got a glass. He's gone to it, looked around, couldn't find it, and then he's disappeared.
Okay.
And then he's come back with a bottle of Jack Daniels. Like, you got proper servings. And we're not talking like one little squeech.
Yeah.
With like a couple of fingers of Jack Daniels, then topped up with ice and Coke. And I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'm tipping you because you are the best. You know, it reminded me of the old joke about Chuck Norris, the only person who can go into a Burger King and order a Big Mac.
Yeah, it is cool, like especially when you're on a vacation like that, and those that's like you're coming all the way from over there. That's no cheap trip, you know what I mean, dude? So it's good when you get like just that little whatever, someone does a little special thing like that. It really like makes the event,
No, it's like 17 years ago when that happened.
Yeah.
The other thing that was sort of one of the other things that sort of reminded me was that on the day of the wedding, where we're trying to avoid the wedding party sort of thing. So like me and my best man and my other friend Mike, we were going around doing our things to get ready and all that. And we basically took walkie-talkies with us.
Yeah.
So we could like, where are you?
Yeah.
Are you anywhere in this sector? Sort of thing. And we were trying to get some money changed up. And they were doing like you had the armed guards coming to like bring more cash in and stuff like that. And we're getting these messages come through, and we were on the same line as the security.
Oh, dude!
And like they're starting to get paranoid. They're like, and like they've got guns, and like,
we're on their security. Yeah, dude.
Oh my god! Turn the things off. Turn them off. Going quiet.
Dude, I think I told you this story. That's like the only sketchy thing I really did is I went. So I had a vacation, and that's when I came to the UK, and it was it was literally like a second date with a girl, and we were over there. So she had met me there, and we went there. So I was like, okay. And I went to the money changer, right? Because I had US bills and I had to get pounds. And I forget at the time what I changed. I was like, I don't know if it was like $800, something like that. And so if it was like 800, they should have given me like about 400 pounds back. Because back then I think it was almost like twice, right? But I gave them 800 and they gave me and it's like I couldn't believe it at first because I got it and I was just like, oh, I just gave them the money because I knew I had put it in my pocket, and I'm like, okay, this is the money I'm changing over. I didn't like think much about it, gave it to them, and they gave me like 1,600 pounds back. So they doubled it the wrong way, dude.
Right.
And I put it in my hand and I looked at it, and I looked at my girlfriend, and I didn't even like go to count it because I'm like, dude, I think they're like horrible. And I was like, what did I do? I'm like, I didn't have $3,200 on me, so I'm like, I didn't give them like $3,000. And then I just grabbed it and walked out. I was like, don't count it because then you'll know if you're right or wrong and be guilted into giving it back. I was like, don't. I just like grabbed it and walked out. I was like, that's it. And usually it's kind of like against my personality because like any other time they've done it, I was like, here, here's your money back, whatever. And that one, I was just like, oh, well. I'm like, you guys, I'm like, don't count it right now. I'll walk out and then I'll figure it out. And I was like, that was my moral justification, was like, hey, if I don't really count it, I don't know what's there. And like, sure enough, later I'm like, hey, I got a bonus. I'm like, and I was just like, hey man, maybe they're doing that as an incentive to get visitors. So I just like figured that must be what you do in the UK.
Come to our bank, our bureau de change, where we'll give you more money than you give us.
Exactly. I was like, man, they got a great system. But and I mean,
Yeah,
what are the odds of that happening?
very rare, very rare.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
say that,
dude.
things like that happen. I I think I used to do. I remember going into this place over here called WH Smith's, which is like
Okay.
newsagents, books, CDs, and stuff. And I wanted to buy. Um, it was a album by no, it was a song. Sorry, by a group called Ocean Color Scene,
Okay.
and they were the day we caught the train. It was a very popular song in the 90s.
Gotcha.
This band came out of nowhere, brought this song out, and it was very sort of catchy, and everyone's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah," and sing along with it and all that sort of stuff. And I've gone into this place, WH Smith's, to buy the CD, and I've said, because you'd get the empty CD case, wouldn't you? So I
Mm-hmm.
got the empty CD case, took it up there, said, "This is the CD I want to buy," and it was
Yep.
like £2, so it'd been about $4.
Yep.
So I was like, "This is a CD." And the woman took it away. They've gone to the little drawers, opened up the drawers, through the little fire thing, found the CD, popped it in there, give it back. That's £1.99, please. Here's my money. Thank you very much. See you later. And I've gone out, and then when I've got home, they've given me the album. So
Oh,
it's like,
really?
oh, cool. So I bought the CD for the actual single, but they give me the album instead. So I'm like, oh,
Oh, bonus.
okay. I'll yeah.
Overton, thanks for making it. Teo, I do not like mispronouncing everyone's name. Thank you. It is a very cool orc. They took a picture, and I'm a comic fan, so I love good cropping or like, the tighter things. And this was just such a like a comic book panel to me. I was like, it works perfect on that. I should do more with some cropped ones. So I was like, I want to get this one in there because I thought it was like a great photo.
Take it easy
Oh,
over time.
yeah, Obaton, thank you very much for this whole year, man. I appreciate all the support. That means a lot to me. You've hit that like button more times than I can count. He's one of the ones I'm like, oh no, whatever I do, I can't lose that because like it's like a stalwart supporter. Like you only have so many, they're always there. I'm like, all right, I gotta like make sure I keep Overton's attention somehow.
Yeah, no, he's a good boy. He's always there.
Oh, so
Um,
Ryan's over here in the States and he's from the UK. I did not know that.
ooh,
Oh, got a
whereabouts you
little,
from, Ryan?
yeah, I wonder.
I may have been through it in a car once.
On
We're
occasion.
we're much smaller than the States, as you know. You were here.
He's he's a popular figure over in the UK.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal.
He's sort of a big deal over there. It's like I know someone famous from the UK. I know you heard of him. Lee? Like, what do you mean, Lee? There's a million Lees. Yeah, you know Lee. Come on.
Yeah. Do you know Lee from
Yeah.
Birmingham?
I wouldn't even remember. I'm so bad. That's like a thing. It's like I could never be a stalker because someone would tell me exactly where they live and their phone number. Like, who was I even talking to? What person from where? Oh, from Scotland.
He's from Scotland. It's
The
from up,
old
up near north.
Lee's Echo says Lee's a big deal, idiot. It's good, Echo. Scotland. I didn't do Scotland when I was over there. I did Ireland and UK. Well, it is probably UK, but you know what I mean. Um, so then Scotland, I always am captivated by that. Like Ireland was super green and everything, but then there's like Scotland. I always like, you see that they'll do like the golf course pictures and like, I love the coast and all that. And I'm like, I'm gonna end up. And I've heard great things like about like people's trips up there. So one day I'll have to do that. Do you know Lee from the UK lives just outside of London? Totally. That's how I would roll, dude. Be like, hook it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how personally have still yet to visit Scotland. I've been near to Scotland. The furthest north I've gone in this in my country is Cumbria, which is just south of the wall. You know, that George R. Martin stole. Yeah, Hadrian's Wall is the wall in Westeros. But yeah, it was. I've been that's as far as I've gotten up north to the Lake District and Cumbria. But I've always wanted to go to Scotland because I do follow a Scottish football team, which is the mighty Stenhousemuir.
What, like, it just offhand, I mean, would you have any clue, like, for you, how would you go? I mean, do you obviously like fly over there? I mean, like, how long of a flight?
To fly to Scotland from down here is only in about an hour and a half.
Okay, that's what I figured. I
We're
wonder
not
what they, do you know what
massive,
they
right?
wrap you for a flight there now, if you were to do that flight?
Well, yeah, it's just, I suppose, like, obviously, with the flights at the moment, it's still a little bit like, still opening up, being able to fly around and stuff like that because of
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
COVID thing still. But yeah, it's like the last holiday I had. Talk about a rough sports team. Yeah, I I I only chose them because I like the name, Stinnismuir. So yeah, although I've got a friend from Twitter who's a big Kilmarnock fan, so I might follow the Squirrels instead. But yeah, when I used to play football, I used to pretend to be a Scottish footballer called Dougie Heisenpfeffer. It was my persona, Dougie Heisenpfeffer from Stinnismuir. Um, but yeah, it was a strange thing that I used to do. I don't do it anymore because that's technically, I suppose that could be cultural appropriation, really. Even though technically I am 1/32 Scottish.
Oh, there you
Uh,
go.
yeah, see, there you go. You learn something new every day.
Yep.
But yeah, it's and then my kids are actually more Scottish than me because
Oh, okay.
their great granddad was from Lewis,
All right.
which is right up right in the middle of Scotland. Um, and yeah, but yeah, I always wanted to go up there because the Highlands in particular,
Yeah,
you always
yeah.
see
Yeah,
all those sort
I grew up with Highlander movie. I'm down. Like that's why, like,
yeah, with that Frenchman and the Scottish Spaniard.
yeah, I know all about Scottish culture. I watched Highlander. What's up? Like, there could be only
Hi,
one. Yeah, and
Highlander.
some bagpipes, and I'm down.
Don't lose your head.
Yeah, don't
Um,
lose your head.
don't lose your head, Highlander. James Bond. James
That was a
Bond.
good movie. It's probably, you know what? Not many people talk about it these days. I know it's a good following, but it's just one that, oh God, they already remake it. Didn't they remake it?
No, there's another TV series because you had um, what was it Connor McLeod, who was
Yeah, they
Christopher
did do this. Yep.
Cat, but then you had a TV series which was based on Duncan McLeod, who was his like
Yeah.
cousin. But and then Highlander 2, which never happened. They basically they done the film and then they said nope, didn't happen. To sort of because they said like the Highlanders were aliens that had been exiled to Earth.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh God. Tell you, um, I know these are the only three I'm doing today. So I did those. These were the three I was gonna do. And
Oh, Ryan's saying that they are remaking it.
And Echo, you already left, but goodbye. Thanks for joining it, of course. I really appreciate that. Yeah, see, they are remaking it. Okay, interesting. Whatever. I always worry about this. And that's another one where it's kind of classic. And who was the guy who played Kurgan? I always loved that.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, he was awesome
Because
in that.
I can say that because I was actually compared to Clancy Brown once.
And he was
Uh,
just he was like, they called him a lesser Lee,
yep,
little Lee.
something
Is
like
that something
that.
like that?
It was for a midnight release for Gears of War 3, and
Okay.
I was in a queue for a local game store
Okay.
in midnight. I'm standing there. with like a load of other people standing there for the midnight release of Gears of War 3.
Gears of War.
And you start talking to the people around you. And this guy's gone, I have to stop you, but has anyone told you have a startling resemblance to Clancy Brown, the man that played the Kurgan?
Yeah.
And I went, no. I've never been compared to Clancy Brown, the actor that played the Kurgan. But yeah, in certain photographs, I can see bits that I you know what?
Yeah, you
Maybe.
can yeah, I could see it. Although I'd have to look at, but yeah, that's funny. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I think I'm overdue for a watch of that movie.
And Ryan's just saying apparently Henry Cavill is in the running for the main character in the Highlander.
I caught up on a few episodes of the new Witcher, and I was never I was like Henry Cavill was like, oh, okay, I've seen him in some cool stuff. Like it wasn't like I never disliked him in anything, but then after seeing The Witcher, and then I didn't know much about the game, and he just kind of grew on me as that character for some reason. And at first I was like, oh, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch this, and I was like. I thought that show was done really well. Like I watched a couple of the new episodes, and just the animations and stuff. Like okay, I'm like they're doing it good for a series. I'm like it all looks like really slick to me. So I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I finished it the other day.
Oh, did you?
I
Okay.
done it over 2 days, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, the Witcher game I absolutely adored. It was
Okay.
such a great game, and I would still play it.
I know. I heard everyone says that about the game. I was like, I never played it, and I always hear great things about it.
Yeah, no, it's a really good game. Obviously, you got all the books that it's based upon as well. But it was CD Red that made The Witcher, and then obviously that's how they got sort of like Cyberpunk 2077. But that
Yeah,
hasn't.
that's right. That's right.
But no, The Witcher game was actually really, really worth it. It was really cool
All
and
right.
enjoyable.
Well, I think maybe we'll call it a day up in here. Ryan,
Yeah,
thanks for making it. I'm gonna open that and I'll do a little video with it. I want to do that for that gift and appreciate you stopping by the stream. We'll have to do you a paint over one day when you get some minis painted again, dude. I appreciate it. Echo, you're already gone. I'm butchering the name. Teo, appreciate
yeah,
you for Taya.
yeah.
Appreciate you swinging by. So it's
Yeah,
been a good stream.
it's been a good stream. Yeah, we have lots of people popping in and saying hello and Merry Christmas to
Yeah,
you
and
all.
yeah, Merry Christmas to you all and Happy Holidays. Lee, I'm sure I'll say hi to you before the big days, but enjoy some time off. Yeah. Wait, what is that? Oh yeah, a little beverage cup. I'm gonna get some booze. I'm gonna
Christmas
have a
present.
yeah.
Christmas present. I got a 1.75 centiliter bottle of Grey Goose vodka.
Oh,
And it came
nice.
with two.
That's my alcohol or my vodka of choice is Grey Goose. I
Oh
like that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, same here.
It is.
So I was having some Grey Goose vodka, and I put it into my Grey Goose um, serving cans. We've got two of these. So
Oh, he's living the life. He's got the holidays, man. I'm getting some this time, darn it. I'm gonna get some boo. I'm having a drink. That's what I'm
yeah,
gonna
you
do
too.
this weekend. I'm
Thank you,
allowed.
Tayo. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it very much, and I
We'll
think
be on
we will
next
call
Wednesday.
it. Oh yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll be
All
here.
right.
I might even, I think Christmas is Saturday. I might still have some little Saturday thing. I gotta, I gotta do 2 days a week. I just gotta work up. Maybe if it's one and then like every other week on a Saturday, I think I will do that. Like I just gotta, I want to. I want to try more stuff. Like today, I wanted to read that. I'm like, oh, we have 3 people and everybody was talking. I'm like, all right, that's the kind of thing I need on the other one. So I'm gonna do some on that and everything. It's just whatever, you know how life is.
I
So
know.
thanks a lot, everyone.